Hi, I'm Giancarlo Caltabiano from Bored to Death TV, and this is our preview of Septikon's Uranium Wars. Check it out. Septikon is a two-player battle game between mining stations. In the box, you'll find a playing board with two mining stations on each side and the asteroid surface in the center, wooden tokens which represent energy, oxygen, rockets, large rockets, metal, biomass, biodrones, and uranium, tokens to represent shields and satellites, damage tokens which are used to mark damage on your station, meeples which are clone workers for each player, two dice, two summary sheets, and a rulebook. The first player to seriously damage the other player's mining station wins. Let me explain your mining station layout. The two front rows are mostly defensive and offensive actions. In the center, you have your warehouse, which holds all your stock from oxygens to rockets and energy. The rear two rows are your resource-making actions. The center hallway, which connects the rear two rows to the front rows, is also the armory. Your clones will be walking around the mining station performing actions, however, they can never go inside the warehouse spots. The two front openings are where your clones can exit and go onto the asteroid's surface and become gunners. Attackers, if you will. So now you know the layout of your station. Let's set up. Each player will fill up their stock rooms with the 5 resources. Then they get 5 clones which they can place anywhere on their station. You're now ready to start the Uranium War. Your turn has 2 major phases. Roll a die and do actions. First, you roll a die and decide what you'll do according to this roll. You must move one of your clones that many space in one direction. Wherever this clone will land will be the action you are taking. I'll explain those in a bit. Once you've done the action you landed on, you'll move rockets and other things you might have launched the same number of spaces on the die you rolled. Your turn ends and the other player does his turn. You both will take turns creating resources, repairing damage, and attacking your enemy station. Now to explain the resource-making action. Some actions are simply to turn resources into other resources. These are mostly done in the rear of your station. The bottom symbols are what you use to create the upper resource. So for example, to create a biodrone soldier, you must land there and discard 1 biomass and 1 oxygen. These are all well described in the rulebook. Seems like a lot to remember, but after half a game, you'll know them by heart. The upper actions are a little more complex since they deal with your tactical strategy. These are mostly used while having a gunner outside the station. These gunners have a line of sight directly in front of them towards the other station. The laser will use up 1 energy resource and simply damages the next undamaged thing in a gunner's line of sight. If he reaches the station without hitting anything on the surface, it deals that spot of damage. Damage areas block that action and also block movement for the opponent's clones. The rockets are also launched from a gunner, but they move slowly across the surface of the asteroid. On your turn, after making an action, all your rockets will move up according to the number you rolled at the start of your turn. Rockets are good since they can go over undamaged spots and can destroy the area closer to the rear, including storage rooms. You can also make a rocket bigger to do more damage when they hit. The thermite mines cost 2 biomass. This will simply do damage to the opponent's station in the line of sight of a gunner on levels from 1 to 6 depending on the number of your current die rolled for this turn. The energy shield is placed in front of a gunner and costs 1 energy. These will stop rockets, biodrones, laser shots, etc. If you have energy resources left when a shield breaks, you must spend 1 energy to bring it back online. The launch capsule is like a rocket, but instead you are sending in a bioclone soldier which can do some major damage to the opponent's warehouse and resources. If a capsule reaches the opponent's warehouse, he can walk around in that room destroying valuable resources. The only way to stop him will be to do an anti-bioclone action which kills it and transforms it into a resource of your choice. Espionage is really cool. If you spend 3 biomass resources, you can turn an opponent's clone, in a gunner's line of sight, into one of your own clones. Being there, you can now do actions on his base instead of yours. Make him create energy when he is already full, or even send a rocket into one of your shields to waste it. Now the only way to stop the spy in your base is to do a counter-spy action, or a melee battle between clones. To do battles, you'll need to have one of your clones on one of the armory spots, the drill, vibro cannon, or explosive. Having a clone there means that your other clones are armed with that weapon. The drill kills adjacent enemy clones, the vibro cannon can shoot 2 spaces away, and explosives damage areas where your biodrone stood at the start of your turn. You can also use this to block off areas of your own station from invading clones. The satellite action allows you to create a satellite in your gunner's line of sight as far as the number on the die you rolled this turn. The satellite will destroy anything within 3 spaces from it. It also stays there as debris, which can then stop rockets, lasers, and capsule in their path. The takeover action turns an enemy satellite into one of yours. If you see that you are taking lots of damage, then you might need to do some repairs. Luckily, you can do this by spending metal or energy at locations with wrenches to remove a damage token. Finally, the airlocks are used as transportation. Kind of like teleportation pads, you can move clones who start their turn there into another lock on your station. So those are the actions. You can see that by the simple roll of a die, you'll need to make decisions according to that number. And the fact that one of your clones must move that many spaces increases the strategy. These are automated clones just doing the jobs they were programmed to do. The game goes on until the other player can't do damage to your station anymore. For a lighter game, you can play up until a player has 15 points of damage. And if you're looking for a 2-player strategy game with some good player interaction and resource management, look no further. This game is really cool and the setup time is not as long as it looks. The art and icons are good, reminiscent of that 1960s spy genre, and the summary sheets help new players get into the action fast. We have a prototype here, so we won't give it a review yet, but so far this game looks like it's really promising as a 2-player sci-fi warfare game. And we recommend you keep an eye out for
Septikon, bioclones in the skies.